14 years ago, the story of Grangetown I told was of a broken contract. Belching industries squatted on the doorstep of a town it no longer employed.
If you live here, you're likely to die 10 years younger than people just 5 miles up the road.
Location and lifestyle added up to a health disaster doctors met in crisis session. And today, life expectancy is little better. Half the population smoke and take no exercise. GPs say Grangetown remains in the midst of a public health emergency.
I think basically the problem now is that people have tried that long and they're not seeing the results. That's where the despair is. Previously, when you were that low, you thought things would get better. Now everybody says things will get better. If it doesn't get better for you, then there's a bit of despair.
And that leads to the mental health problems.
That leads to mental health problems. If the house next door is being stoned at or burnt, the person next door, one is suffering because the next door wondering when will happen to us, to sit and worry. So it's just like that. One thing rubs onto the other.
There was housing here as well, and that's, although there's nobody in the park at the moment, it is heavily used.
The future of Grangetown is in the hands of this woman. Joan Rees is the council's development officer for the area. It is her vision for the town which should shape its fate.
Driving around Grangetown, it's pretty depressing, the shopping situation, isn't it? I mean, every arcade seems to be 90% boarded up.
What we've got to ensure is that we've got good, modern shopping facilities, and that means that we need a good, modern superstore.
For most people in Grangetown, that superstore would be a bus ride away. What about the merits I protested of being able to pop out of your front door to buy a pint of milk from someone who knows your name?
Well, that's a very romantic notion, but can you show me a community other than a small village where that romantic notion is still there as a reality? People don't stand and talk at the bus stop anymore. They don't meet in the local shop.
Tens of millions have been spent in Grangetown over the last few years on training schemes and refurbishment, but it hasn't stopped the rot. Schools and community centres have opened and closed. Those who try to better themselves by buying and improving their homes struggle in the quicksand of plummeting house prices. Their efforts trap them all the more.
Yes, this is Grangetown. I was born and bred here. Lived here for 50 years, and this is the view, certainly through the 90s and now, that I've had to put up with. But the conditions got so bad, I decided to get out.
David Binns has escaped, but he lost everything to break free.
Can we be part of this fourth richest nation? Or are we still in the 19th century? Have we been airbrushed out? I say to myself. Does anybody care about Grangetown? Can you tell me anyone that really, really cares about Grangetown, who's got power and authority to make a difference? Or are only the people who live in Grangetown think about Grangetown?
When I came in 1990, Pat and Suzanne represented a community fighting back. They challenged local industry to help Grangetown reinvent itself. A few years later, though, Suzanne died of a coronary. Like Grangetown itself, it seems, her heart gave out. But Pat is still battling, a key member of a local group called Future Regeneration of Grangetown, or FROG. It is an optimistic name for a pessimistic place.
Well, I think when you're sort of a dead-end part of thing, life's the state you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's somebody to walk around and see nice flowers, trees and shrubs. It can brighten them up a bit instead of dreary rubbish tips and that sort of thing. I think that can help them along.
I mean, those kind of initiatives are great, but let me just ask you about them.
They're small, but they're
exactly
a little candle glowing in the dark type of thing, as with most of our initiatives. But we just hope the candles will become more and brighter.
Grangetown's agony is that it doesn't have a purpose. The vast majority of people have no educational qualifications at all. More than half are economically inactive. The strategy, such as it is to stabilise the housing market by demolishing homes. The old social club will be knocked down before Christmas.
They wanted to stay as a community. They didn't want the houses knocking down, and in the beginning they all rallied round and fought, but they just felt in the end
that they were being ignored.
Yeah.
So why, seeing as we Labour run in central government, why haven't we got some of the benefits? Seeing as we've supported Labour practically all our lives, our fathers, our forefathers and whatever. The only time this place will ever start changing if we get someone else, I don't care what party it is, rather than Labour around here to give them a kick up the arse and get them out. Because otherwise we're never ever going to get anything done while Labour's in around here.
It's so easy to repair structure, industry and stuff like that, but you can't repair humans, can you? You can't alter that. You can't turn it around. You can industry, you can turn that around, but you can't turn human beings around, can you?
If they'd kept...
You know, once you've gone, and that's it. And that's the sad part of it. This Grangetown, as I know it, is gone.
The persistent poverty which has blighted Grangetown for a generation or more seems beyond this government. Their own statistics confirm as much. The reason, it seems to me, is that solutions are expensive and take too long. Results won't be achieved before the next election. So build your glass and chrome PFI temples in Middlesbrough and let Grangetown go hang. Perhaps it's the kindest thing to do.
If I come back in another 10, 14 years' time, what do you think Grangetown will look like then?
Hopefully you will see a vibrant new district centre with a health village joined into it, a new library, the sports centre across the road and a new heart to the community that people can be proud of.
Jan is not going to wait to find out. She and her family are moving to the coast.
The best thing they can do with Grangetown is pull the whole of Grangetown down now and start again. That's the only thing that I can see that they can do, because the heart's gone out of Grangetown. It went a long time ago, and you can't put the heart back into something once it's been taken away.
Mark Easton reporting. In the coming weeks and months we'll be focusing on community issues across Britain. We'd like